Welcome to Digital Hospitality. I am your host, Shawn Walchef, founder of Cali BBQ and Cali BBQ Media. We are at the Atmosphere booth, the National Restaurant Association Show 2023, and I have Ben and I have Tammy.
Hello.
Please introduce yourselves to the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Ben Sennet. I'm the VP of Enterprise Distribution Sales here at Atmosphere. Excited to be here at NRA.
Are you excited? You better get fired up.
I'm excited.
There
Let's
we
go.
go. Get fired up, please. Let's go.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tammy Evrard. I'm the VP of Brand Partnerships and Ad Sales based out of Chicago. So, home sweet Chicago.
Home sweet Chicago. So one of the coolest things for me, we started this show back in 2017. We've got our Cali Barbecue Media team. We're having a conversation. You guys said, oh, Shawn, you're going to be coming over with one camera, one guy. What do you see with all the cameras, all the lights? We've got Aaron, Michonne, Tony. I've got, who else do I got? Kyle, G over here. Did you think the barbecue media rolled like this?
We were not quite prepared for how deep you guys roll. No, you are very prepared.
It's a pretty deep crew. I think your guy over here even sneezed and dabbed
Yeah,
while he was doing it
sneeze
while
a
rolling the
minute ago.
camera. So
You
that
guys
was
are
pretty
amazing.
gnarly.
So on this show, we believe every business on earth needs to be digital first, especially brick and mortar businesses. And every business on earth is in the hospitality business, whether they know it or not. One of the things that we do on the show is educate our audience about digital hospitality, about the most important technology partners and content partners that you can have. When yesterday, I was on a bus from the show back to the Hilton Chicago, and I'm on the bus, and on the TV on the bus, I see an ad for Atmosphere. And behind the ad for Atmosphere, I see an ad for Toast. And I'm like, those are both partners that we believe deeply in. Why is it so important? Why does Atmosphere exist?
Yeah, so we want to show up wherever people are. Where there's a captive audience, where people need to be entertained, that's where we want to be. Think about your bar, restaurant, brewery experiences. What's on the TVs? What's entertaining you? If you're not talking to your friend or watching a game, what are you doing? If you're in a doctor's office or on a treadmill at a gym, for example, what's on the screen in front of you? Garbage. Shocker.
Garbage.
You know, it's a lot of talking heads. It's a lot of things that you can't hear or experience without audio. And that's where Atmosphere comes in. You know, we entertain people on a completely different level. We make environments 10% better. And I know Ben has a lot more to say about that too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Get up on the microphone, don't be scared.
Absolutely.
Come on.
All right,
It's like you're giving a keynote.
I had to step
you see
back.
all these
I had to
people over
step
here.
back to not
We've
get
got
away.
so many people over here coming to find out.
Yeah, totally. You know, about 90% of restaurant owners that I've spoken to here at the NRA show, you know, every single one of them says, I use sports to put on my TVs and that's about it. But the majority of your hours of operation, you know, you're not playing sports. You know, how are you using that to entertain, you know, your customers and engage your customers while they're in there waiting, while they're eating, and while they're enjoying their experience inside your restaurant? So to Tammy's point, we want to entertain customers, but also give restaurant owners the opportunity to basically engage those customers to drive those eyeballs so that basically they can promote their own business on their own screens. And whether that's, you know, promoting happy hours, specials, menu items, you know, events that they're doing in the business, we're giving them that platform to basically engage their customers in that way.
What's cool for me is our own Atmosphere story was, I was at a bar in downtown San Diego at a restaurant, and I saw ChiveTV, and I literally came back to my GM, Eric, and was like, Eric, why don't we have ChiveTV, or how do we get ChiveTV? Can you guys give us the evolution of where ChiveTV became Atmosphere?
Yeah, so I've been with the company for almost 4 years now, and we were birthed out of the Chive, and ChiveTV was our first channel. The ChiveTV remains our flagship channel. It's still in maybe 40% of our venues because people turn it on, and it is funny, it's entertaining, it draws your eye up and keeps butts in seats longer. So, you know, the birth was out of humor and giving people something else to watch that's funny. You know, maybe you're sitting next to somebody at the bar and you see a funny clip and you're like, oh my gosh, did you see that?
Yeah.
and it makes social settings social again. We talk a lot about people being on their phones in bars. You see it all the time, restaurants too, and you see people just doom scrolling, not talking to each other. And ChiveTV really was birthed out of giving people something better to watch, to talk about, to engage with the people they're sitting at a table with. A couple years ago, we rebranded to Atmosphere and launched a whole bunch of additional channels.
How many channels do you have?
Oh gosh, over 50.
Over 50.
So,
I've been saying over 62. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. I mean, our
I
channel.
hope I've got the correct
No, you're okay. Our channel list expands constantly.
Yeah.
We have a lot of really awesome partnerships with Red Bull TV, Bob Ross TV, X Games TV, things such as that. It's content that's always going to be engaging, funny, and something for everyone to watch. So I always talk about, I take my kids bowling a lot, and ChiveTV is over a lot of the lanes. I'm comfortable with my 8-year-old watching ChiveTV, and I'm okay with it. Whereas if they've got, there's something about Mary or Forgetting Sarah Marshall on mute, I'm not as comfortable. There's some scenes that I don't want an 8-year-old to see. So it's also a drop-in mentality when we're talking about what's on cable versus what's on Atmosphere. It's a social, quick content, quick clips, easily digestible, easy to engage with experience.
It's designed to be consumed in a business environment, right? You go into a business, you're not there to watch a show, you're not there to watch a movie. You may go for a live sporting event, but majority of the time you're not. And so our content is short formed, it's audio optional, and it's built to really be consumed in the business environment.
So this sounds amazing, and I know as somebody that owns a sports bar that's been in business for 15 years at our restaurants, we spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars with our cable provider. How much are we talking about? If somebody wants to get on Atmosphere, how much are we talking?
Yeah, that's the best part of our product. It's absolutely free.
What?
Free.
Come on.
In today's world with inflation. Yeah.
What's the catch?
Well, what's the catch? All we ask is that you stream at least 40 hours in a month. That's our business model. So pretty simple to do.
Yeah, and the vast majority.
That's amazing. Free?
Free. I could spell it. It's FREE. Yeah.
To Ben's point, it's free to use, so 40 hours a month is really not hard to get to.
Yep.
And the idea that it's content that engages people, most of our venues have us on 40 hours a week. It's
for sure
way more than
easily.
that. Yep.
Yeah, easily. We're always showing it. I mean, the channels that you have also for family venues,
yes,
I think is something. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because as a parent that has a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, I don't want them on phones or iPads. No. But when I go to a place, and especially at our place, biasly, we can put on the kids' channels. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have Happy TV and Pause TV, which...
Pause TV, there we go.
I mean, Pause is so
that's
adorable.
That's Eric, my Geo's favorite channel.
I mean, we love that channel because it's puppies and babies.
What's not to love?
I know, it's bunnies. I think around Easter it was very bunny heavy, but who doesn't love a cute little bunny nose twitching? And the idea here is there's a human element to Atmosphere. We actually have real people that stitch the content channels together.
Wow.
So it's not AI technology, it's not a bot, it's somebody actually looking at all of the content clips and putting together a loop of content. So, we talk to brands all the time about safety. Like, they don't want to be next to scary things. People don't want to see scary things. On the news, you never know what's going to pop up. On Atmosphere, it's always going to be very family friendly.
For sure.
Even with, I think behind me, our news channel, our sports channel, it's all just matter of fact of like what has happened. So we do have some owned and operated channels of Atmosphere News, Atmosphere Sports, and we have a newsroom of people that are keeping up to the minute, up to date on like what is happening in the world. Again, like there is a place for news, I think, in bars, restaurants, in those experiences. But you don't need somebody telling you how to think about things. It's just the facts, which is great.
So I work with Matt Bars, who's part of the Atmosphere team. He's in the restaurant guy. And one of the coolest things that he told me about was the curated channels.
Yes.
So you have curated channels. So when a restaurant owner goes, there's 62 different content channels, I don't know what channel to put in. All of a sudden, why did you guys come up with these curated channels? To solve those problems? And what are they?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So, the business landscape in the United States and internationally goes just beyond restaurants. So, we work with everything from retail stores, gyms, doctors' offices, things of that nature. So every business is going to want something that's maybe more applicable to their audience and their customers, and every audience in different parts of the country or different parts of the world are going to want different things. So we try to have a mixed bag of content that's more appealing to a mass audience versus just restaurant owners in a certain part of the country.
So can you tell me about the diversity of venues that you guys are in? How many venues are you in, and what types of venues are you in?
Yeah, for sure. We're in over 55,000 venues.
55,000, amazing.
In all 50 states. We can also be found internationally.
Sweet.
We have an office in the UK as well, so we're expanding. And we just want Atmosphere to be available to any venue that needs to entertain their clientele. So yes, we're international as well. But during COVID, a lot of bars and restaurants closed their doors and we're doing takeout only. So it was a pivotal point for us at Atmosphere. We really shifted into where are people, where our audience is still going. And I know it's a little less relevant for, bars, restaurants, breweries, but it was an inflection point for our company. And we found that people were still in doctors' offices, they were still at vets, they were still at laundromats, and we diversified where Atmosphere is now going to. So you can find us in a lot of different venues, and people are turning us on because they have a captive audience. They don't want people to be doom scrolling and bored. And if you think about your own experience, I go to the orthodontist with my daughter all the time, and it's always some terrible Disney show in the middle of it, and it makes me want to cry. And I'm like, please turn Atmosphere on. I know a guy who can get you a hookup.
Yes.
So, the idea is entertaining those audiences as well.
And we bucket it out to 3 types of venues. So we have places to wait, places to do, and places to eat, right? And so places to wait are going to be, customers or patients that are sitting in a waiting room versus, folks in a restaurant that, theoretically they're still waiting for their food, but they're trying to enjoy their experience, whether it's with their friends or with their family.
That's awesome. So can you talk to me on a franchise level? If you're a national brand and you're looking at bringing Atmosphere in, how can Atmosphere help on a local level?
Yeah. So I think we look at it a couple different ways. We work with a lot of corporate entities. We also work with a lot of franchisees, and they've come to us from an ad sales perspective of, hey, I want people to think of me as a local part of my community. I don't want to be this big, company entity that people are like, oh, you can't sponsor the softball team, or you can't be part of the community. You're this corporate giant. A lot of our advertising partners work with us to say, like, hey, I'm part of the local community. Think of us, think of a lot of these mom pop owned franchises of like, we're here too. So from ad sales perspective, we see a lot of that. Corporate, we're in a lot of corporate locations as well. You kind of can control the narrative, the message through your digital signage of what you want on your Atmosphere screens, because within our pods, I don't know if we want to talk about digital signage at all.
Yes. We love digital signage.
We love
ABB,
digital signage.
always be branding.
There you go.
if the TV has to be on, and it's got to be entertaining, and it's got to sell something. It's got to be storytelling.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so and I think for the brand, the corporate, the franchise relationship, I think the biggest thing is just brand continuity, right? If I go to one store in Florida and one store in California, I want to make sure that experience is the same no matter where I go. But at the same time, we still want to empower from the corporate down to the franchise locations to still engage their community.
Yep.
So we work with a lot of brands and their franchisees, and the corporate entity still loves to empower those franchise owners to, whether it's promote in their local community, engage their customers, engage their audiences inside the business, and that's been kind of one of the most powerful assets that the corporate can give to the franchise owners is a free marketing platform to really do that. So that's what our franchisees love.
So every single week on Wednesday and Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, we host a room called Digital Hospitality on the social audio app Clubhouse. We want you to join that app. You can talk about your restaurant, your bar, your nightclub, your venue. If you're a business owner, content creator, we give shout outs. I want to give a shout out to Charlie Eblin and Devin Eichler. So they both come to the rooms, but they both became Atmosphere customers. They both did Atmosphere unboxing videos.
Let's go.
So it's up to you, the listener, the person that's going to watch this, the person that's going to consume this. This is a rising tide lifting all ships. We're trying to find the best companies out there that can improve our hospitality so we can take care of our guests. Atmosphere does incredible work to help us entertain our guests, advertise what we have going on in our local community. Do you guys have someone that you'd like to shout out?
Oh my gosh.
I know, I put you on the spot.
So we have so many partnerships.
So many. I need one person. One person, one brand. Go.
Okay, so we do love Hooters. Hooters.
Okay, Hooters. There you go.
We work with Hooters. Bought in on Atmosphere early on.
Sweet.
Walk-Ons is also a partner that bought on.
I'm working on getting the CEO of Walk-Ons on the show.
Well, we would love to help
Let's
with
make
that.
an introduction.
We love these partnerships because they not only put Atmosphere into their venues, but they also use our digital signage in their locations. They work with their franchise teams to make sure Atmosphere is in those locations as well. And then they work with me and my team to advertise and drive foot traffic into their stores. So I think we see really good and smart marketing coming from teams that look at us as a 360 solution of not just in your location, but also what can you do on the Atmosphere screens that are outside of your store.
Yep.
And that's where the rubber really meets the road. So I will say, we have a lot of partnerships, but those two are using us in really smart ways because they're doing it holistically.
Ben, can you top that?
I don't know if I could top that because I am pretty much in line with her. Hooters is definitely a
give
great
me somebody
customer.
that's not Hooters and Walk-On.
Not Hooters? Yeah, I would say Pizza Hut. We're working.
Pizza Hut. There we go.
Yeah, so we're working
I've heard of
with.
Pizza Hut.
You've heard of Pizza Hut? I think
I've
they
had
do.
Pizza Hut
I think they do pizza, right? Pizza.
They do pizza.
Yeah,
They do
pizza.
very well. A lot of locations.
Yeah, Pizza Hut. We're working with at the franchisee level. A lot of their big franchise groups and one and two operators as well. They've just been great partners of ours just because it's just a great fit. A lot of people are going there either to sit down, order pizza, or wait for their pizza while they're in there, and they've just done amazing things with Atmosphere so far.
We've done some great things with Wow Bao as
Wow
well.
Bao. Jeff Alexander.
Yeah, so
He's kind of an introvert. You should tell him to get out of his shell.
Yeah, totally.
He's over there dancing at his booth.
I know I didn't
We
get
love
my
Jeff.
camera
Jeff,
out
you're
in
amazing.
time. But we've worked with Wow Bao to help them launch in locations where they had dark kitchens.
Sweet.
Where people did not even know what Wow Bao was or that they existed. We've worked with Roti here in Chicago to drive foot traffic into their stores. They're doing some rebranding with Fresh Mediterranean.
Very cool.
A lot of people don't know exactly what they offer. So I think brands that are willing to take a little bit of a gamble and go outside of Google search, et cetera, and say, okay, how do I drive awareness and get people to care about me in a different way? They do really well with Atmosphere.
I love it.
Especially franchisees who are, opening up new locations in different markets. I know Tammy's team has seen a lot of success building that brand awareness in new markets and where they're going. So, yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. So if you're watching this, if you own a restaurant, if you own a bar, if you own a nightclub, and if you get Atmosphere because of this, I'm going to put you on the show.
Let's go.
But you need to do an unboxing video for me. You need to tag me in it. So it's at Shawn P. Walchef, ShawnPWalchef. We appreciate you guys watching the show. We couldn't do it without you. Atmosphere has been an incredible partner. Thank you, National Restaurant Association show. Chicago has been incredible. As always, stay curious, get involved, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Appreciate you guys. We'll catch you next week.